property inspections and who is a home inspector. So I was just asking quick poll questions of people and who is a home inspector, and I think they've answered a couple of questions. So, but because of interest of time, I'll just get right into the slide, and just give me a quick minute as I pull up my slide and we can get started. Just 1 second. You know what? Slideshow. Okay, so today I'll be talking about three. Now I don't see the screen, but feel free to stop me because I can't see your screen. Just chime in through the audio because I have only one screen I'm using for this presentation. So today we're talking about 3 steps to become a successful property inspector. Quick introduction, I talked about myself. I currently run a home inspection business. Right there on the screen is the name of my company, my website, and my phone number. I currently serve Edmonton and surrounding areas. So what do property inspectors or home inspectors look at? Madam Duni or Sister Duni talked about, people want to buy a home or people want to sell a home. They hire a home inspector to come in and look at the property, and they sometimes use the report as a negotiating tool, which she's absolutely spot on. So when we do property inspections, what are the things that we look at? A home is actually a system, meaning that it's a set of interrelated components that work together. So right there on screen, you see the various systems in the home, the various major components, as some would call it in a home. Number 1 is the interior, which is your walls, your ceilings, your flooring, your staircase, everything in the interior of the home. When we talk about the exterior, you talk about the kind of wall covering material you have to cover your home. Here in Alberta, we have vinyl siding mostly. That's what you see on most homes in Edmonton. If you go to Ontario, you see brick. There are different kind of wall covering materials, your windows, your doors, that's your exterior. Some call that the building envelope. Number 2 is your HVAC, which is the heating, ventilation, and air conditioning system of your home, which is your furnace that heats up your home, that maintains thermal comfort of your home. Number 3, if you have a basement or a crawl space, that's where we go in there to check the structure of your home, typically your walls, your foundation walls, the beam, the column, all of that holds up the house. Those are the things you see when you go into the basement or the crawl space. If you've got a fireplace, we look at that as well. Your roof, which covers, which provides kind of protection from the elements. We also take a look at that. Your attic, we go in there to see what's going on in there, the amount of insulation you've got in there, electrical systems, plumbing. So majorly, this is all that we look at. It's a detailed investigation. Most good home inspectors will spend on the average of 3 to 4 hours actually taking a look at your house and making sure that they're covering all bases. So that's what we typically look at when we come in to do a home inspection. Okay. So next slide, I'm going to be getting to the meat of our slide today. So the question you ask now is, okay, yes, I know what a home inspector is and what it does, but how do I get trained? How do I get certified? In Canada, there are a few jurisdictions that require you to have a license to operate as a home inspector and a home inspection business. Alberta happens to be one. British Columbia happens to be another jurisdiction. Ontario right now, I'm not aware that they require any sort of government licensing to be a home inspector. So there are some jurisdictions in Canada that don't require licensing, but Alberta is one that requires that. So you need to get the license before you can operate. So let's talk about how do I get the license and how do I get trained. The first thing here is you have to obtain a sort of, education, and there are various means and methods for doing that. There happens to be colleges in Alberta where you can attend and take classes or take online classes to get the required certificate. SAIT has a program which is about 10 courses that you have to go through. And if you look at it, SAIT requires that you finish each course within 4 months, which is 16 weeks. NATE also has similar program, but theirs is kind of condensed. they require that you finish each course in 2 months, which is 8 weeks. So their program is a bit accelerated. If you go by the duration, if you're doing 4 months for each course with SATE, you're probably doing that in 2 years. You can do more than one course. Actually, they allow you to do that. So I've got links there. We can, when you have time, just Google SATE Home Inspection Program. They have a program there. InterNACHI is a U.S. association for home inspectors and happens to be the largest home inspector association. They have it's also a registered college in the U.S. and they train people. Their course is a bit more intensive. They have close to almost 30 courses that you have to do. But when you finish your program, you'll be a bit more knowledgeable because you've gone through many courses. I actually went through the InterNACHI. It took me almost 2 years to go through their program. So there are other associations that you can go through. Maybe I should go through the link on the website, and I don't know if you can see my screen. So if you want to go, this is the Service Alberta information on how to, become a licensed home inspector. There are a couple of requirements, and I'll talk through that later on. But for the education, you see, they have a couple of schools that you could also attend. They have this Castle Dunlop that you can see a lot of colleges, Bow Valley College, NATE, Medicine Hat College, SATE. So there are a couple of programs that you can attend to, to get the required education. Okay. All right. So after you get your education, next thing is one of the requirements to get a license is that you need to get what we call a certified master inspector in your city or somewhere else to come in and do a supervised test inspection. So what that simply means is that they'll watch you go through a home inspection and see how you do it. And then if they're okay with it, they'll sign off a document which you have to include as part of your application to the government of Alberta to get a license. Earlier on, I pulled up a link, which is the Service Alberta licensing requirements. So I'll go back to the link if you can see my screen. So this link walks you through what are the things that you need to get. So I've talked about option 1, which is the education and the test inspection. We'll quickly run through the other requirements. You need to get a police information check from your city. If you're in Edmonton, you probably should get that from the Edmonton Police Services. So the police service that is serving your jurisdiction, you get that PIC, that's a police information check from them. And then after that, you get your what do you call it, your diploma, degree, or certificate from whichever college or school that is listed here. Okay, there are specific programs and schools that you can attend to get your education, not just any other school. Okay, and then once you're done with that, there are a couple of other things that maybe not listed here. You have to get what we call, like insurance. So basically, you need to get what they call it. They call it errors and omissions insurance from any of your insurance provider. It's actually expensive, almost like $4,000 a year. And then they will check and see that, okay, you have the necessary education, and then they will agree to, to insure you. That's one of the requirements. And then before you start your very first inspection, there are a couple of ways for you to get experience. So what do I mean experience? So I've never done home inspection before. How do I get experience? You start with your house, inspect your house thoroughly. Go using checklists. There are a couple of checklists that are online for doing a home inspection. And you just use one of them, inspect your home using those checklists. Call a couple of your friends, tell them, hey, I want to come inspect your home. Is that okay? I actually did that too. Even though I do similar work for the city and I do building inspections for the city, but just to fulfill all requirements, I still did that. The other way for you to get experience is what we call ride-alongs. So you call inspectors. It mustn't be an inspector within your city. I'll just be honest with you. This one is a bit challenging because when you call an inspector and you say, hey, can I come do a ride-along? You probably get a negative response because they're going to see you like a competitor. And so most likely you would not get a favorable response. If you do, You probably get one from an inspector that's not in your city that wouldn't see you as a competitor. So if you're in Edmonton, maybe you call an inspector in Calgary or call an inspector in Red Deer and say, hey, can I come do a ride along? And there are a couple of reasons why most of them don't want to do that, apart from the fact that they see you as a competitor. The other issue is insurance. They have restrictions with their insurance, right? So that could be a way for you to get experience. Another way is to join a local chapter. Inspectors, there are different inspector associations. There's the Internachi, which is the one I belong to. There is the Alberta, I think they call it ACHI, and there's the ASHI, which is ASHI. I think American Society of Home Inspectors. So they have different associations that you can join and then just attend their, what they call it, their associations and their meetings, and then get to meet other inspectors, build relationships with them. You can also watch YouTube videos of other inspectors. There are a lot of YouTube videos of other inspectors that are completing home inspections and see how they do it and learn from there. And then there are so many inspector forums where you can join online forums and just join the conversation, see what other inspectors, the issues that they're facing, how they are solving those problems and all of that. So at this point, I'll quickly stop here before I go further to see if there are any questions.
So, Mr. Joshua, thank you so much for the information that you're sharing. It's very, very eye-opening for people that will be wanting to, go into that field of practice. So I have a question. Do I really need to have any form of, I know for you, you are an engineer prior to, getting into this field. For me, I don't have any engineering background and I've not done anything civil before. Is it something I can consider doing, considering the fact that I never for once have experience in this industry? Is it doable for me, or I have to have a sort of background in engineering, civil, or what have you before I can become an home inspector?
That's a very good question. In fact, many of the home inspectors in Alberta, I would say less than 2% of them are actually engineers. So that tells you a lot of them have different backgrounds. Some are coming from business background. Some have trades background. So when I mean trades, they are either journeyman electrician, they are carpenters, people that build homes, or some have construction background, some have technical background. So a lot of home inspectors, they come from different background. If you do a lot of these courses, you get enough education that would help you, that will form a good foundation for you to launch yourself into this field. So yes, you don't have to be an engineer to come into the field of home inspection, but you do have to get proper training though.
Great, good to know. Thank you so much.
Okay, any other question?
Any other people with any other question before we continue? If there are no questions, then you can carry on. Do you have a question? Please go ahead.
Yeah, I just want to ask, what is it like for female in your industry, like for we ladies?
Yes.
Is it? Yeah.
So I've seen a couple of ladies that are home inspectors, even in Edmonton, yeah. So yeah, yes, there are many ladies that are doing home inspection. Just like that, if you see in Edmonton, you see ladies that drive buses. What a man can do, a woman can do better.
Of course, I agree with you, but sometimes when it comes to issue of homes and all that, it's just that people generalize it and see it's something a man can do. Like, can you go up the ladder? Can you do this and all that? So I feel like it's gonna be, I don't know, but then that's a good one if there are women representing.
Yes. So in terms of going up the roof, and I hear your concern with going up the roof. So I will tell you a large proportion of home inspectors don't want to go on the roof or don't go on the roof for various reasons, because you don't know the condition of the roof. You could go step on an old roof and then the roof will collapse. So for personal safety reasons, a lot of home inspectors don't even go on the roof. What they do, they use drones now, and with drone inspection, you can practically see everything on the roof. I personally use drones as well, and I do very good inspections, right? So if your concern is, oh, how do I get on the roof? If you know how to use a drone very well, you can do a proper home inspection with your drone and be able to see the roof components. And knowing the truth of the matter is that even stepping on the roof, there are aspects or components of the roof that you still can't see, which are non-visible, because even stepping on the roof doesn't mean that you're going to see everything about the roof, right? So you can still do a proper roof inspection with your drone.
Nice, thank you.
Okay.
Another question I want to ask is, how do you deal with inspection during the winter time? Do you inspect the roof or you just let it go?
Okay, so yes, we do look at the roofs during the winter time. There are instances when the roof is going to be snow covered. We do put a comment on our report in those instances that the roof is snow covered, and then we will try to see as much as possible. Now, when you look at the roof, it's not only the roof covering material that you're looking at. When I mean roof covering material, I'm talking about the asphalt shingle or whatever it is that you're using to cover your roof. There are other aspects of the roof that we're looking at. There are roof penetrations like your roof venting, which is those pipes you see shooting out of the roof, or the turbine fan, those things that roll on the roof. So those things that penetrate through the roof, we're checking that. There are things like what they call flashing. So these are the things around those roof penetrations that prevent water from entering into your roof. So we check all of those things. So in the winter, yes, I agree that sometimes it can be difficult to do a proper roof inspection because sometimes it's snow covered, but we see those warm spells where the snow will melt, and then we can still look at aspects of the roof. Then also, when you go into the attic, you look at the interior of the roof and see they call it the wood sheeting, which is some call it plywood or OSB that the asphalt shingle is laid on. You can see if there are roof leaks there or evidence of water stains there. That will tell you also the condition of the roof. You can also look at if the roof is sagging. That means you step backwards and look at the roof and see if it's bent sideways, leaning sideways. So that tells you a lot of things. So there are things that you can look at that can tell you, at least give you some good condition of the roof. But we do know that when it's covered with snow, that's a limitation. And as a home inspector, you should call that out in your report.
Thank you so much, Mr. Joshua. And thank you for everyone that joined the program. So the topic today is a career path in becoming a licensed and certified home inspector. We have some other topic we'll be talking about, but for you to know what we're already talking about is just the career path. But we just chip in all these questions for people that are curious, that want to know what goes on behind the scene and how the whole process goes on. So I will still leave it to you. Do you still have more information to share with us?
Oh yes, yeah, I still have a lot of information. I was just waiting to see if there are more questions before I move on.
I know we don't have much time, but please go ahead and
all right. So step 2. So there are 3 steps, as I mentioned at the beginning, of becoming a successful home inspector. So now you've gotten all the knowledge, and you've gotten all the experience, going on ride and longs. You've looked at a couple of homes. Now, what are the things I need to do to get that business started? So you need to purchase your inspection tools, and there are certain softwares that you need to get, to write your home inspection report. So at the very beginning, there are a lot of tools a home inspector would want to get, but basic tools to really get started is a flashlight and an electrical tester or voltage tester. So what we call GFCI, that's a ground fault circuit interrupter. You want to get that. You want to get gloves because you're touching the panel, electrical panel. You don't want to get shocked. Yeah, indoor shoes, typically that goes without saying. You want to get a respirator because you go into the attic, and those insulation materials sometimes can contain, hazardous materials like, asbestos, which can be hazardous to the health. So you want to make sure you're protecting your lungs by wearing appropriate mask. You have knee pads because you're bending and crawling into different places. You have an infrared camera because you're trying to see what are the things. So with the infrared camera, it helps you to see certain things that the visible eyes cannot see. So if there are moisture, which is water stains or evidence of water leaks that have been repaired in the past that you can't see, the infrared camera would show you that. A moisture meter will tell you how much moisture. So when you see something that, there's something that's not quite right with the camera, you use your moisture meter to verify, okay, is there actually moisture there? You open up a furnace and you want to check if there are gas leaks, you need to get a gas leak detector. Also a carbon monoxide detector. You want to get ladders because ladders are important. step ladder, because that's what you use to go into the attic to check. You get mode swap. So those ones you can get further later on when you have money. Drone, yes, if you don't have money for a drone, you can get a cheap one to get started, but later on you want to get a proper drone so that you can really see all the aspects of the roof. Most older homes have crawl space. If you don't like crawling into crawl space because of the risk, you don't know whether you can meet a snake there or some sort of animal there. You want to. Some people use robots that crawl into the space and you can do inspection. So all of these tools you can get on Amazon, Canadian Tire, or Inspector Outlet, which is a website and a dealer that does, they sell inspection tools. I mentioned earlier on about checklists. There are some free home checklists. If you want to, learn how to do a home inspection, you can get that from Internachi. And then you want to get proper home inspection report writing software. This is really, really key, because without a good software, you're going to make your life difficult. So there are a couple of software and they cost lots of money. Most of them are over $1,000 on a yearly basis. So you want to start with a good software that would enable you for success. The next step is you can be the best home inspector, have all the knowledge, technical knowledge, and yet you're not getting clients and you're not getting business. So a home inspector is not only one that should be good technically or sound technically, but someone who is business savvy, someone who is able to market their business, someone who is able to speak, someone who is able to share their knowledge. So how do you do that? The first thing is, hey, you want to get a website. I know the order that I put there is not, I didn't put it in the right order, but you want to get a good website, and because you're sharing your business card with with realtors, and the first thing is, oh, can you give me your business card? The first thing they're checking to see whether you're what's it called? A serious business is, do you have a website? Do you have an email, not at yahoo.com or something like that? You have a proper email. So you want to get a good website with a good logo and all of that, which sells your business. You also want to look at your competitors. How much are they charging for home inspection? So if you're breaking into the market, it's good to maybe start slightly lower than your competitors so that you can break into that market and use price as a competitive advantage. So look at your competition, check, depending on the type of house, the size, the square footage, the age of the home, how much are they charging, and then adjust your price accordingly so that you can draw the market. You also want to be a very good home inspector. You want to write excellent reports. You don't want the report that you're going to write, and many times, many people that read home inspection reports, they don't have technical background. So the way you write is important. Don't speak technicalities, let me use that word, or jargonese. You speak in a language that is easy for a layman to understand when they read your report, and they can understand the issues or the deficiencies that are in their home. So you write in a clear, concise manner so that your home buyers or your clients understand what issues the home has and how to address that. And then serve your clients and your real estate agents better. Look for opportunities to serve them better. Forge relationship with realtors. I met Mr. Israel in one of these forums, and we're able to quickly partner up, attend, realtors, monthly meetings, go to open houses. Like I went to one even today. Go to open houses, meet realtors, word of mouth. Let your people in your network know that this is the business that you're doing. Everyone that comes across your way, hey, I'm a home inspector. Can I come look at your home? Can I inspect at least the time you're trying to get experience, look at people's home for free, offer free technical advice, at least at the beginning, so that people know. And then as you build your business, word of mouth, referral from clients, all of this goes a long way for you to be a successful home inspector. So yeah, I glossed over many things, but for me, these are like the key 3 steps to be a successful home inspector. So finally, if you're interested in doing home inspection, this is my business card here. So you can take down the number if you're having any question, anyone who's interested in, doing home inspection. Yeah, please refer them. I want the business as well. So yeah, any questions? Open the floor for questions and answers at this point.
Do you have any question, anyone?
No.
Well, if there are no questions, thank you so much, Mr. Joshua, for the wealth of information that you share with us on this platform. I know we have limited time, and I'll quickly be talking about the road path to become a property manager. But before I go into that, I want to say somebody have a question, Sister Dooney.
Actually not a question. I just want to commend our speaker that he really did a good job, and it shows that he knows what he's doing. He knows his job. I really enjoy it. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you for the good feedback.
Thank you, Sister Dooney. Yes.